There are a ton of mints coming up that I am very excited for. It's a great feeling to be bullish about NFTs again. I know there's a bunch of drama going on with Friendtech. I'm going to cover it in a video tomorrow. However, I did want to wait for Maki to join the platform, see how that turns out. So by the time I put out my video, it's not already outdated. But today's video is all about NFTs. We are back to pumping out the videos. I would like to welcome you back to another Crypto Gorilla video. As usual, nothing in this video is financial advice, and if you haven't already done so, would you kindly hit that subscribe button? So what I'm mainly looking for are gaming projects. Of course, there's a bunch of projects even outside of the gaming space that I'm bullish about, but gaming is really the meta right now, so I want to make sure I focus on all of these projects. Now, if you look through some of the top project lists on Twitter, a lot of them have similar projects that repeat themselves, which gives you a good indication of what people are bullish on. But as you can see, most of these are gaming projects. But more than just gaming projects, I want to look for the ones that have a low supply. Ideally, it's a free mint. Of course, they have funding if it's going to be a free mint, because you need a lot of money to build a game and a team that knows how to build a game. But the perfect combo is small supply and free mint. Because if we look back to block games, it was doing really well, but there was so many listings. There was like 1,300 listings at one point, and the sell pressure just became way too high. I had even swept some, but with 25% listed, I knew there was no way this price was going to make it. And if we look now, it's at roughly 0.06, although the listings are down to about 650. There's obviously a lot less demand now that some of the hype has gone and everybody's focused on Friendtech, even though this project has a token at some point in the future, right? It's still a good project, but as you can see, people have moved on. But with some of these lower supply mints, the teams are being a lot more selective with who gets whitelisted. They're not just doing mass raffles to get as many likes and retweets as possible. And with the small supply, there's a lot less sell pressure. So these are the ones where we want to put our time. So if we take a look at Ciroc's list here and we just cherry pick the ones at the top, I completely agree. These are the ones that I also feel are essential. Of course, I covered L3E7 in a video. I'll link that above if you want to watch it. I strongly believe this one is going to be an absolute cook. But next to it, we have two projects that we're going to take a look at. We have Castile and Forge. So the first one, Castile, it's a mobile game. It's going to have a small supply. We don't know the number yet. It's going to be sub 500 NFTs. And while it's not all going to be whitelist, the people who are lucky enough to get whitelist are going to get a free airdrop of their NFT. So it's a free mint. Now they are developing a mobile game. It's already in development. And while their alpha is only going to be available after the NFT comes out, the gameplay itself does look really good, right? If you're looking at it here, it reminds me a lot of Diablo in terms of visuals, and in terms of gameplay, something like Final Fantasy, right? More the old school ones. And when I saw this, I was really impressed, because when I speak with a lot of teams, they don't want to show me gameplay, right? Because it's way too early and they think I'm going to have too harsh of an opinion. So they pretty much just show up with a pitch deck and like screenshots of a game, which obviously doesn't do it justice, doesn't get me as hyped. But with Castile, or Castile, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, with this project, the gameplay looks fun, the game is polished, it looks like they have great lore, and the character design is very well done. So I might cover this project in more detail in the future, but for now, this is definitely at the top of my radar for whitelists I want to get. Now, the other project that I was talking about is called Forge, and while this one isn't a game itself, it's in the realm of gaming, because what they're building is a social identity / rewards pass, which is going to track players' activity and achievements on Steam, Xbox, and a bunch of other platforms. Now, the website isn't publicly available because it's still in construction, so it doesn't look as pretty as they wanted to, but I was able to find it, and here you do see the team who are fully doxed. They did dox them on Twitter, but you can see they all seem to work for this company called GGWP, Good Game Well Played, which is a gaming moderation and data platform. So they do have a history of working in the gaming industry. And if we scroll to the bottom of their webpage, you could see a list of investors. They have Animoca Brands, which at this point, Animoca has just invested in every single project. But they also have Polygon, Sony, and Riot Games, who are the makers of League of Legends. So the whole point of this project is to reward players, especially those who spend hours grinding games and unlocking achievements. And there's a ton of possibilities for projects like this, especially if they can partner with different games. If you look at what Amazon Prime has done with their Prime Gaming, you're able to redeem monthly rewards for the games that you like. So this is already a proven model, and who doesn't like free stuff? So this is going to be a free mint. I'm not exactly sure how big their supply is going to be. They told me not too big, so it's not going to be like 4 or 5K or anything like that. So definitely one of the projects that's at the top of my list. Next up, while I don't know the supply or the price of this one, or even for which game it's going to be, if we take a look at Skyline's list here on Twitter, we can see he mentions that Matrix is going to have some upcoming collections. Now, if you don't know Matrix, they are building multiple games, the first of which is called Matrix Fire, which is a mobile first-person shooter. And while I haven't had the pleasure of playing it, it actually looks very well made by the looks of their trailer. And on the website, we can see they are developing 2 more games, so I assume those games are also going to have NFTs. However, if we look at their existing collections, their NFTs are worth a lot of money. The You Are the Champion trophies currently have a floor of 13 ETH, and their Matrix 2061 collection is currently a little bit more than 1.5 ETH. So if they're going to keep launching NFTs, you definitely don't want to miss these. Now, jumping over to the dark side, we're going to talk about a Solana project, which is called Pioneer Legends. Now, this project is going to happen in multiple phases. Phase 2 is going to be a game. It will be an idle game, which I do have mixed feelings about. Whenever I hear idle game, I think of things like Metroverse, which didn't turn out too well. But what impresses me about this project is the founder, because I listened to their recent Twitter space, and from what he says, he has a very impressive business background, and he's now going to be bringing that to the project to help bring money into the project, not take money out of the project, but he's found ways to have recurring revenue beyond just collecting royalties. Now, they say they're going to do this in 3 different ways. The first way is through Bitcoin mining, or crypto mining, not just Bitcoin, for which they say they already have the setup. They've invested 7 figures into this. The second way is going to be through DeFi, and the third way is going to be through crypto on and off ramps, which Legacy says he's been operating in that field for years. Now, of course, he's not doxed to me, so there's no way that I can verify any of this. But if everything he's saying is true, it's very impressive. Now, another thing he's seemed to have done is derug a ton of Solana projects under a company called Aeon Ventures. I'm not that big into Solana, so I don't really know the history of these projects, but I'm just showing this to you because I looked into it for a Solana project, especially. This one piqued my interest, especially that they have these different methods of getting revenue and they want to share that with their holders. So if everything goes right, this could be a great way to make some passive income. Not financial advice, do your own research. Now, jumping into I called Solana the dark side. This is the dark side. If you're a fan of Miladies, you might be a fan of this project. We have a project called Bunnygirl Capital. You could just tell by the name right away what kind of project this is going to be. Also by the founder's name, Hentai Avenger, right? It's all about ish posting and internet culture. But the amount of impressions that their posts have been getting are very impressive. Like, dude, I want this kind of engagement. Why don't I get this? But 240K for a post about taking whitelist applications. And even the founder, Hentai Avenger, like his posts get 100 and something, here 40K views. So a lot of people are paying attention to this, but I do find it strange. Like, I haven't heard too much about this. I saw it going around, but I haven't heard it being talked about like I do some of the gaming projects. So I don't know too much about this one other than, like I said, it's a project about ish posting and, Miladies and all that culture. If we go on their website, it's very simple, but I like the aesthetic of this website. It's like an old school browser. If you click around here, it's just like a cat. So sorry. And here you have a little text. It does say the PFP was going to come out in September, so I guess they've delayed that. They also talk about how they want to have some of the best merch and host parties and onboard celebrities and athletes. I don't know if all that's going to happen, but as for the aesthetic, I can get with it. Now, there is this banner collection. If you had it, you were given whitelist. They did like a snapshot. You could see it pumped. Nothing crazy, right? It went from 0.02 to 0.07, but still, this is like the darker, more deep in the culture side of NFTs, where it could either be, a nothing burger, or it could be a huge hit, just like Miladies was, especially that Miladies is having a lawsuit with its founders. There's room for someone to come along and take the spotlight. Don't be mad at me, Miladies. That's just the current vibe. And with that, that's the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, would you kindly hit that subscribe button, smash that bell notification. Thank you for watching the Crypto Gorilla. Peace.